We are now delighted to welcome to the program a very, very beautiful lady from the Indian subcontinent who originally comes from India but presently settled in Hollywood, an actress of international fame at the present time, none other than the most beautiful, your favorite, Persis Khambatta. Let's give her a big hand.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Persis, good to have you again. Persis, you're looking as lovely as ever, and we saw you a couple of years ago here on television, and you received tremendous feedback when you were on the air, and we are really delighted to have you back again on television here in Toronto. Tell me about the exciting things that you've been doing in the last couple of years since we met last.
Well, I've been doing quite a few films. I also did a film that I always wanted to do, was to go back to India and do a film. And I hear it's releasing next week, and that's Shingora.
Shingora, yes. In fact, there's been tremendous reviews about Shingora from India, and I understand people really gave you a very warm reception. You had nice red carpet treatment when you went back to India, and people were delighted to have you after you'd been in Hollywood for so long. You came back to India to do your first Hindi film. Tell us about your experience with respect to the first Hindi film that you did.
Well, I arrived there after Narihira called me, and it's very rare that you have accept a movie on a phone, which is like 15 minutes on a telephone conversation. And Nari told me the story, and he was somebody that I've known for a long time and I trust. So when he asked me, and he said, look, this role is absolutely perfect for you. They had thought of Munmun Sen and Zeenat Aman and other actresses, but he decided that this was the film for me. He asked me if I would come down, and he told me the story in brief. And I said, okay, I'll come on this day. And the next day I started to shoot. Within 5 weeks, we finished shooting, and the people were very professional. I was very, very impressed. And it was sort of a thing that I wanted to, I felt like India has sort of opened up so much that I would like to go back again and do another film. But with Nari, it was something very, very special. Shingora was a very special film for me.
नहीं सेठ जी, आज दोपहर को नहीं. आज मुझे कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पर जाना है.
Persis, you've done some really, really big box office, internationally well-known motion pictures such as Star Trek, Will Be Conspiracy. You've acted with big international stars such as William Shatner, of course, Michael Caine, Sidney Poitier, and Sylvester Stallone. And after doing all these major work, did you feel that going back to India to do a film with newcomers or stars who were not at that international level, how did you feel about it?
They were more nervous about me, but from what I gathered, that I really sort of, to me what was important was time. And when I first went there, I talked to them and I said to them, I just believe in time to be there. If you call me at 6 o'clock in the morning, I expect everybody to be there at 6 o'clock. And only, I think in 5 weeks, only once they arrived at 7 o'clock when I was waiting there at 6 o'clock. The car was sent for me. I mean, everything was just first class for me. Mark Zubair was very much a professional actor, and most of the people were very professional. I never had to wait in the makeup room like most of the Indian actors do. Nobody came late and nobody sort of made a fuss about it. I would compare it to my experience abroad, as good as that. And I really enjoyed working on this film.
Give us in a nutshell, in 2 minutes, a bit of a theme about Shingora. What is the story?
The story basically is about a woman, a girl who's from a village who's never been with a man and comes to Bombay when her father dies. Her father's dream is to see her to become a very good architect. And she goes to a college where the top guy in the college, who's successful in everything, the best looking guy, takes a bet and says, I can have her. And the bet is for 5,000 rupees.
Story.
And he seduces her and gets into a scene where he promises a marriage, but he doesn't. And she finds out it's a bet, and her mother dies, and it's the ending is very interesting. I mean, if I tell you the story,
Of
then
course,
you
yeah, right.
will know what happens.
How long did it take, Shingora, how long were you on the sets?
5 weeks exactly, every day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of hard work.
It was hard work. There was a lot of emotional scenes. And what I liked is, in a sense, if you've seen Diane Keaton's film Good Bar, it's that sort of thing where after she takes revenge on guys and in the night she becomes, sort of picks up guys for one night and just throws them out. I mean, it's a controversy film, and from what I got in India, the reviews.
अगर मुझसे शादी करने से नलीश अंजलि को खो बैठता है तो हमारी शादी नहीं होगी।
What was it to work with a man like Nari Hira? Because I've heard nice things about Nari. I understand he's a very, very thorough businessman. He's been a good producer from what I've heard. What difference do you find between him and maybe the other?
He is very honest. When he told me on the phone the money, the dates, the work, he kept his word. And I worked on a project in India where I flew there. I did not get my money. I spent a lot more money. And in 3 months, I shot 1 day. And it was my time because I lost 3 television films here. And because of my verbal commitment on the phone, having the experience with Nari Hira, I felt that this was the way people would do business. And because my first experience was so good, I took a chance on a second experience. The second experience didn't turn out to be as good as the first one, and that's my gain, not my loss, because I realize now I wouldn't do that. Only with some people I would.
Tell me a bit about your modeling career, because you were always considered, and you still are, one of the most beautiful models from India. What are your current plans?
Well, I normally don't model, but when I was doing Shingora, as they were taking ads in the video films, they approached me to do an exclusive last year, really. And I was very, very pleased with the ads because they won all the awards. They won the Best Commercial Award, Best Photography Award. I really enjoy modeling. I really love it. And it's something that's part of me.
Most of the people around the world, the moment you mention the name Persis Khambatta, they immediately identify you with this star image, the epic, the extravaganza, the Star Trek. Here is a delightful segment featuring Persis Khambatta.
My oath of celibacy is on record, Captain. May I assume my duties?
By all means.
Okay, tell us about your reaction, because when you were approached, and especially this film involved a few kissing scenes. Was it controversial in India?
Well, from what I gather, it was. Only thing is, in Indian films, they just touch the lips now, which is what has just 1 degree from the butterflies and the flowers.
Right, or they close, and then there's a dissolve to a flower where there's 2 bees,
Because I have worked in American films, reality for me is that when you are in love with somebody or when you are seduced, you kiss, and this is the way you kiss. You don't just show flowers and birds. And this was for a video film, this was for Nari Hira, and everything in consideration for the role, what I'm playing. I thought it was very necessary for me to do what I've done. And my mother was on the set, and so was 40 people from the crew was there on the set.
मैं तुम्हारी शक्ल तक देखना नहीं चाहता हूँ। गुड बाय मिस रोमा सिन्हा।
एक और गया।
Have you got a comment about that?
Well, it was very funny because with this scene, which I did with Nirmal, and he's a wonderful person to work with.
Nirmal is the one. He's now married to Zarina Wahab, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said action to us when we were doing this kissing scene, and the tape was going on. And when they said action, we started kissing. And the tape finished, and they didn't say cut. And like Nirmal and I were looking at each other and saying, what do they want us to do? And they said, who said action? Somebody from the crew just said action, so that we started it off, and they just wanted to watch.
So you were kissing for how long?
20 minutes.
20 minutes? It's a marathon session, kissing for 20 minutes? What is the major difference you find with respect to working in the Hollywood film industry and the Bombay film industry?
Hollywood industry, there's a lot of professionalism in a sense that, as I said, my experience with Narihira was fantastic. And more so it disciplined you about time and working hours, and like you do one film and you complete it in 5 weeks. This is why I enjoyed working for Nari. In India, you sort of work for 20 films and you're going from one shooting to the other. That's why you don't have continuity. I think I talked about it last time. And the difference is Hollywood is Hollywood. I mean, you make it in Hollywood, you made it internationally. You make it anywhere else, you just made it in that country. That's what it's based on.
0300.
Well, Commander, a perfect score.
I have an apology to make.
An apology?
Persis Khambatta, who began her career as a model in Bombay, India at the age of 13 and represented India in the Miss Universe contest at the age of 16. Her career as a model flourished when she went to England, and within a short space of time, she became one of the most sought-after models in Europe. Persis caught the eye of producer Marty Baum, who cast her as lead actress opposite Sidney Poitier and Michael Caine in The Wilby Conspiracy. Her screen debut so impressed director Michael Anderson that he cast her in his movie Conduct Unbecoming, starring Richard Attenborough, Michael York and Stacy Keach. Persis decided to seriously pursue her movie career by moving to America, where once again in the space of a few months she came to the attention of producer Gene Roddenberry, who at the time was casting for Ilia in Star Trek, the motion picture. Persis created a sensation by walking into his office bald-headed. Gene Roddenberry, who had screen-tested some 600 actresses for the part, was immediately taken by her looks and signed Persis for the part. Persis' bold decision to shave her head was a media sensation both in America and throughout the world, and not only won her international recognition but also established her as an actress in America.
Kirk Unit, disclose the information.
Other movie credits include Nighthawks, Megaforce, Warriors of the Lost World, and First Strike. Her TV credits, besides numerous appearances on Johnny Carson and Merv Griffin, were Man with the Power and Casablanca.
Tell me about her, the woman you wanted to marry.
What?
She must have been very fine.
Persis also was a presenter at the Academy Awards.
For your Celadon, Charlie Papa Productions Incorporation.
Would you like to say any words of greetings to your fans and well-wishers?
Well, I'd like the blessings for my wedding to be very happy.
Persis, it's been a great pleasure having you on the program again, and we'd love to have you back.
Former Miss India, Persis Khambatta, is dead.